Chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. God led you here for a reason. You've been through seasons of confusion, battles that made you question your worth, and moments that left you wondering if you would ever see the other side of pain. But every trial, every delay, and every closed door was leading you to this exact moment. You are stepping into the very reason God breathed life into you. This is not just another chapter. This is the one your entire life has been preparing you for. And in the next few moments, I'm going to break this down into 7 powerful chapters so you can see exactly where you are and what's about to happen. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just content. It's a divine confirmation for the chosen ones. And a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's been supporting through Super Thanks. God bless you richly. Your faithfulness, your presence, and your belief in this mission do not go unnoticed. To all of you who continually watch, listen, and align, I am truly grateful. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a prophetic signal to the Most High and the universe that you're ready. Ready to walk into the reason you were born. Ready to step into the divine assignment, the divine doors, and the divine acceleration that heaven has already prepared for you. Not everyone will make it to the end of this message, only the truly chosen. Those who stay will gain clarity, deeper awareness, and prophetic insight into the season they are now entering. This isn't something you hear once and forget. This is a living word, a spiritual blueprint for your destiny, unfolding piece by piece. Watch it again whenever your spirit leads you, because each time another layer of divine truth will rise to the surface. You're about to understand why every battle, every delay, and every closed door was leading you right here to the reason you were born. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The preparation was necessary. Before you could ever step into the reason you were born, God had to take you through a process that very few people would understand. This wasn't random suffering. This wasn't life being unfair for no reason. This was intentional, divinely orchestrated preparation. And preparation, chosen one, is never comfortable. It's not meant to be. Preparation is the season where heaven strips you down to the essentials. It's when God removes every false identity, every unhealthy attachment, every bit of pride, fear, or dependency that would sabotage your destiny. It's the silent chapters of your life where you wonder if you've been forgotten. Yet heaven is working overtime on your behalf. In this stage, you're not in the spotlight. You're in the shadows. You're not being celebrated. You're being shaped. In those hidden seasons, God was not withholding blessings because you weren't worthy. He was fortifying you so that when the blessings came, they wouldn't break you. He was chiseling away impatience so you wouldn't jump at the first opportunity that looked good but wasn't God. He was sharpening your discernment so you could smell deception before it even spoke. He was strengthening your faith so you could hold on to promises even when every circumstance screamed the opposite. And yes, He allowed certain people to walk away. Some were removed suddenly, others faded over time, but all of them left for a reason. Their influence, their energy, their opinions could have diluted your vision. They couldn't see the future God has for you. And in this next chapter, you cannot afford to be surrounded by people who lack spiritual sight. He closed doors you were begging Him to open. At the time, you thought He was being unfair. But now, looking back, you realize those doors led to places you were never meant to live in. They were too small, for the version of you he was building. They would have trapped you in comfort and kept you from courage. Every tear you cried in private was collected in heaven. Every moment you questioned yourself was met with God's silent reassurance. Hold on, I'm still working. Every unanswered prayer was not a denial. It was a divine delay, perfectly timed so that what's coming would meet you at the right moment, in the right condition, with the right heart posture to handle it. Without this foundation, the seasons of discipline, the pruning of pride, the strengthening of your faith muscles, you would not be able to carry the weight of what's coming. This was not punishment, it was protection. It was heaven saying, I can't send you out unprepared, because the world you're about to step into will test you, and I need you to pass. The preparation was necessary because what's ahead of you is bigger than you think. And now, the one who kept you hidden is about to bring you into the open. When he does, every silent season will make perfect sense. Chapter 2. The stripping away. Before a tree can produce new fruit, it must shed its old leaves. That shedding isn't optional. It's part of its survival. The tree understands that clinging to what is dead will only drain the life out of what is still living. And chosen one, before you could bear the fruit of your true purpose, God had to take you through that same process, a holy, intentional stripping away. This wasn't just about losing things, it was about being freed from what you didn't even realize was weighing you down. God began to separate you from relationships that had no power to walk with you into your next chapter. These weren't just casual acquaintances. Some of them were people you loved deeply, people you thought would be with you for life. But their presence in your future would have compromised your destiny. So God, in His mercy, had to remove them. He broke the ties to environments that kept you small, places where your gifts went unrecognized, where your light was too bright for those who preferred the shadows. He confronted the habits, coping mechanisms, and even the thought patterns that gave you comfort, but secretly chipped away at your spiritual strength. Every distraction, every soul-draining commitment, every toxic pattern, gone. And at the time, it hurt. It felt like betrayal. It felt like rejection. It felt like everything you were building was being torn apart. You cried. You questioned. You begged God to explain. And often, there was silence, because some lessons can only be understood when they're lived, not when they're explained in the moment. God was cutting away anything that could not survive at the altitude He was about to take you to. If you had kept holding on to those weights, they would have either slowed you down or pulled you back entirely. The truth is, you prayed for increase, but increase cannot come without room, and room cannot exist without removal. This is why God let certain people leave without warning. This is why some doors you knocked on never opened. This is why some blessings seemed delayed. The pruning had to happen first. It's easy to call it loss when you're standing in the middle of the cutting season, but from heaven's view, it was protection. It was preparation. It was God placing His hand over your life and saying, not this, not them, not here, not now. It was not rejection. It was redirection. He was guiding you away from counterfeits so that when the real thing showed up, there would be no confusion. Now that you look back, you can see it. The people who left would have been a distraction. The opportunities you missed would have been a trap. The comfort zones you clung to would have been a cage. God didn't strip you to leave you empty. He stripped you to make you ready. The clutter is gone. The noise has quieted. The baggage has been dropped. Chapter 3. The moment of recognition. There comes a sacred moment in every chosen one's journey when the shift becomes so clear that you can no longer deny it. It doesn't happen with fireworks or a sudden trumpet blast from heaven. It happens quietly, often in the stillness of an ordinary day. You wake up and realize the weight you've been carrying feels lighter. The things that used to drain you no longer have the same power. You notice that your thoughts are calmer, your decisions more intentional, and your heart strangely at peace. You begin to recognize that you are not the same person who started this journey. The pain that once consumed you has transformed into wisdom. The storms that once terrified you have become training grounds for your faith. You used to pray for strength. Now you realize you've been walking in it without even noticing. You used to pray for clarity. Now you see with eyes that can discern truth from lies instantly. Your reactions are different. The arguments you once felt compelled to join now seem pointless. The need to defend yourself in every situation has vanished, replaced by an unshakable confidence in who you are and whose you are. People who used to manipulate you with guilt or fear now find no access point into your spirit. You no longer chase their approval because you've tasted the approval of God, and nothing else compares. And here's the thing. This recognition doesn't just happen in your mind. It happens in your spirit first. You feel it before you can fully explain it. It's that deep, quiet knowing that you are no longer wandering. You're standing on holy ground, the edge of the very reason you were born. Your steps feel guided, your timing feels aligned, and your heart is prepared for something you can't yet see but can already sense. It's as if heaven is leaning in, whispering, "You're ready." You can feel the eyes of destiny on you. You know the enemy feels it too, because suddenly old temptations start resurfacing, trying to pull you back into a version of yourself that no longer exists. But the pull is weaker now, almost powerless, because you've outgrown those chains. This is more than self-improvement. This is transformation. This is resurrection. It's the unveiling of the new you, the one God spent years crafting in the shadows. Every heartbreak, every delay, every closed door, every season of silence was shaping you for this exact moment. And now you can see it. You can feel it. You can't go back because the old you is gone. And the new you is finally ready to step forward. Chosen one, this is the moment where your inner reality begins to align with your outer reality. Soon, what heaven already knows about you will manifest for the world to see. And when it does, you'll realize that the recognition wasn't the end of the journey. It was the doorway into everything God has been preparing you for. Chapter 4. The Alignment of Heaven. When it is finally time for you to step into the reason you were born, something begins to shift in both the seen and unseen realms. Heaven begins to move with precision. God starts arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities in a way that no human hand could orchestrate. It's like watching puzzle pieces that never seem to fit suddenly lock into place perfectly. You may not see every piece at first, but you can feel the pattern taking shape. The timing of everything becomes undeniable. People you've never met, and perhaps never even heard of, start crossing your path at exactly the right moment. These aren't random encounters. They are divine appointments. Conversations that seem ordinary at first end up carrying the exact wisdom, encouragement, or connection you needed. You might open an email, take a phone call, or have a casual meeting that ends up changing the entire trajectory of your journey. Opportunities that once felt impossible suddenly come looking for you without you having to chase them. Positions, platforms, and places that were previously sealed off now open up with ease. Invitations find you. Your name begins to be spoken in rooms you've never entered. And the most powerful part, you're not striving or forcing. It's as if the wind of heaven is pushing you forward. Doors that were once locked for years will suddenly swing wide open, and they won't just open, they'll stay open because God Himself has unlocked them. This is not coincidence. This is divine alignment. This is the orchestration of a God who has been watching, waiting, and working behind the scenes for this exact moment in your life. Resources you didn't know you needed will arrive right when you need them. Money will show up for the vision God placed in your heart. Wisdom will flow from unexpected mentors. Favor will appear in places where you should have been overlooked. The help you couldn't find before will start knocking at your door, and you'll realize, all along, God was holding these things back, not to deny you, but to release them at the appointed time. What took years to build will now accelerate. The slow growth, the patient waiting, the hidden preparation, all of it becomes fuel for this sudden surge of momentum. It's as if God takes you from walking to running overnight. And every step forward feels lighter because you're no longer moving in your own strength. This alignment is not just about external blessings. It's also about internal readiness. Because now, you're in position. Your character is strong enough to carry the weight of the blessing. Your discernment is sharp enough to navigate the new connections. Your spirit is anchored enough to withstand the influence and attention that's about to come. You're not just stepping into a new season, you're stepping into your divine position, and heaven has been waiting for you to get here. Chosen one, when heaven aligns, resistance breaks, delays dissolve. What was once a struggle becomes effortless flow. And when you look back, you'll see that every setback, every detour, and every closed door wasn't a mistake. It was God's way of making sure that when the alignment came, you would be unshakable, unstoppable, and fully ready to walk into the reason you were born. Chapter 5. The Release of Authority. When you finally step into your divine assignment, everything about you shifts. Not just your schedule, not just your surroundings, but the way you exist in the world. There's a new weight in your walk, a fresh fire in your spirit, and a stillness in your soul that no storm can shake. This is the release of divine authority. The moment when heaven places the scepter in your hand and says, "Now, rule in the territory I've given you." This kind of authority isn't something you can study for, purchase, or pretend to have. It's earned through hidden battles, silent obedience, and nights where you held on to God when everything in you wanted to let go. It's the reward for staying faithful when no one was watching. It's the crown that forms when you carry the cross. You didn't rush into this, you were processed into this. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door, they weren't setbacks, they were shaping you to stand tall without bowing to fear or flattery. That's why now you don't wait for permission to move when God says move. You don't shrink yourself to fit rooms that can't handle your calling. You no longer measure your worth by how people respond to you, because your worth has already been measured and validated by the one who created you. The authority you now walk in carries its own atmosphere. When you step into a space, the room feels it before you even speak. There's an invisible yet undeniable shift, a stillness, a clarity, a weight. People may not be able to explain it, but they can't ignore it. Some will be drawn to it as if they've been searching for it their whole lives. Others will feel threatened because your presence confronts everything in them that's out of alignment with God. Even the unseen realm recognizes your arrival. Just as demons recognized Jesus before he uttered a word, the enemy will see you coming from a distance. They know what you carry now: the power to bind, to loose, to decree, and to see heaven respond. Your authority makes the kingdom of darkness nervous because you're no longer reacting to the enemy's moves. You're making moves that force him to react. Understand this. Divine authority doesn't make you careless. It makes you intentional. You no longer speak casually because you know your words carry weight. You no longer enter environments without purpose because you know your presence changes things. You no longer entertain distractions because you understand the cost of misplaced focus. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing that you are an ambassador of heaven, carrying the full backing of the King of Kings. You don't just represent God in name, you represent him in power, in wisdom, and in the way you operate. And when heaven trusts you with authority, it's because you've proven that you will use it to build, not destroy, to heal, not harm, to liberate, not control. From this point forward, you're not just moving through life. You're governing your God-given territory. You are decreeing what must be and declaring what will not be. You are commanding storms to be still, telling mountains to move, and watching as heaven confirms your words. The mantle you carry is not light, but it's yours. And because God gave it, no one can take it. Your authority will open doors that were welded shut. It will silence voices that try to rise against you. It will draw resources from unexpected places and cause even your enemies to work in your favor. This is the season where your identity and your authority walk hand in hand, and together they will turn prophecy into reality. Chapter 6. The impact beyond you. The reason you were born was never just about your comfort, your success, or even your happiness. It was always about something far greater. God's blueprint for your life was written with other people's names woven into it. Your obedience was designed to set chains falling from wrists you will never touch. Your yes to God would echo through families, communities, and even nations. From the beginning, your purpose was engineered to shift atmospheres, rewrite bloodlines, and push the kingdom of God forward in ways you may never fully see on this side of eternity. As you walk in your calling, something supernatural happens. Your steps become seeds. Every place you go, every word you speak, every act of faith you take plants something in the soil of someone else's destiny. Some will watch from a distance, quietly drawing strength from your perseverance. Others will be emboldened to pursue their own purpose simply because they saw you refuse to quit. Many will never tell you, but they will look at your life and realize that God is still faithful, still present, still in the business of doing the impossible. You will be the answer to prayers whispered in tears by people you've never met. A single act of obedience on your part, a message you share, a door you open, a stand you take, will become the catalyst for someone else's miracle. You will carry light into places so dark that people have forgotten what hope feels like. You will speak words that spark courage in the hearts of those who thought their story was over. You will open doors that future generations will walk through without having to fight the battles you had to face. This is why the warfare over your life was so unrelenting. The enemy was never just after you. He was after the countless lives your purpose would touch. He knew that your breakthrough would become a chain reaction of deliverance, that your freedom would dismantle strongholds in others, and that your testimony would rob him of influence. That's why the attacks felt personal, because they were. Your life is a weapon in the hands of God, and the enemy wanted to silence it before it could fire its first shot. Understand this: your impact will outlive you. Long after you are gone, your choices today will still be speaking. The seeds you plant now will grow into forests of faith, innovation, healing, and freedom for people you will never meet. Your grandchildren's children will benefit from the decisions you're making in obedience today. Your victory is not a private trophy, it's a public inheritance. This is why you cannot afford to downplay your calling or shrink in the face of opposition. Every time you rise, someone else finds the courage to rise. Every time you speak truth, someone else finds the strength to break free from lies. Every time you take territory in the spirit, you make it easier for those coming behind you to walk where you've walked without having to fight what you fought. The impact beyond you is the real prize. It is the ripple effect of your life touching others, until it becomes a wave that sweeps through generations. And when you stand before God one day, you'll see the faces of those you never knew you reached, and you'll understand that your struggle was never in vain. Chapter 7. The Unstoppable You. Once you step into the reason you were born, something inside you changes forever. There is no going back. The version of you that once questioned your worth, second-guessed your calling, and feared the unknown no longer exists. You have been through the fire and come out refined. You have been through the storm and learned to walk on water. You have faced enemies and realized they were never stronger than the God who was fighting for you. From this point forward, your life is not just movement, it's momentum. Yes, trials may still come. Opposition may still rise. There will still be voices that question you, and moments where the road ahead is unclear. But now, you carry the unshakable awareness that nothing and no one can stop what God has already set in motion. You've learned that delays are not denials, that attacks are often confirmation, and that what tries to block you will only end up elevating you. You've reached the place where fear can knock at your door, but faith will always answer it first. You will walk with boldness, not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that naturally commands respect. You will speak with wisdom, not because you know everything, but because you've learned to listen to the one who does. You will move with power, not from striving, but from the quiet authority of someone who knows they have heaven's backing. People will sense the shift without you having to explain it. Environments will respond to your presence before you even open your mouth. When you look back, you will see that every single challenge, heartbreak, and delay was worth it, because it brought you here. The old you couldn't have handled this season. The old you would have been crushed under the weight of this calling. But the new you was forged for this. Every scar has become a signature of survival. Every lesson has become a tool. Every tear has become oil for the anointing you now carry. Chosen one, you're not just entering a new chapter. You're stepping into your life's ultimate assignment. This is the season where purpose and preparation finally meet. This is the moment heaven has been aligning for years. The assignment you carry is not just valuable, it's irreplaceable. No one else can walk this exact path, carry this exact mantle, or fulfill this exact mission the way you can. So protect it. Guard it from distractions, from counterfeits, from anything that tries to drain your focus or dilute your fire. Honor it by showing up every day with the same obedience you showed when no one was watching. Walk in it with everything you have, knowing that your steps are ordered and your outcome is secure, because you were not just called, you were not just chosen, you were born for this. And now, nothing can stop you. Everything you've been through was heaven's training ground. Every detour was a divine redirection. Every battle was a rehearsal for the victory you are about to walk into. You are not who you were, and you will never be that person again. From this day forward, your life will be a living testimony of what happens when God's timing meets God's chosen vessel. Step boldly, live fully, and remember, this is not just your season to rise, it's your season to reign. This is the moment the enemy hoped you would never reach. This is the hour where your obedience becomes your weapon and your faith becomes your crown. And this is the chapter heaven has been writing in secret, now ready to be revealed for the world to see.